My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. This adventure marks the beginning of the wintertime season here in the mountains. That means it is time for some snow adventures. Early this morning, a winter storm warning went into place for heavy snow. Concerning the conditions right now, we are looking at 24 degrees Fahrenheit and it is super windy. Sustained winds around 20, gusts up to 40. With the wind chill, we're talking about close to zero already. It is very uncomfortable out here. Because of that, we should go ahead and get our tent set up. Get the heater going, let's get out of this wind. It looks like we have a snow shower coming through. Unfortunately, the wind is blowing so hard, all of this snow is just flying away. The tent has been set up. Getting that job done is huge. That means we have full protection from the wind. The snow, that's not the part that gets you. It's the wind and the cold. So it's good to have that task done. For this trip, I am using the excellent Nature Hike Dune tent. This is an awesome 4th season hot tent. I've used this many times over the years. It is fantastic. Because the winds are going to be so strong with this storm system, I went ahead and I reinforced the stakeout points. I have used 16-inch forged steel tent stakes and I've drove them very deep into the ground. This tent is not going anywhere. Without a doubt, I do not want to pull a Tony from Applebee's Camping, AB Camping. He had his tent like fly off into a tree one night. I don't want that. You don't want that. So get your tent staked out securely. When it comes to my sleep setup tonight, I'm doing some testing. So what I have on the ground is the Teton Sports cot pad. With this cot pad, you can use it on a cot or you can use it on the ground. It is supposed to add more insulation so that you stay warmer. The thing is, Teton Sports does not state the R value of this product. And because of that, I decided I would use it as a sleeping pad for this trip to see whether or not I can gauge what the R value is. If I get cold, I have another air mattress inside of the 4Runner which I can use, but I figured we'll just do a little bit of testing here to see how well it works on the ground. On top of that, I have the Kodiak canvas sleeping bag that's rated for 30 degrees. On top of that, just in case I need it, I have their add-on quilt that is supposedly going to add 30 degrees to this sleep system. If that is true, that is very, very impressive. For this trip, everyone, I am going to heat this tent with my buddy heater. Oh yeah. To fuel the Mr. Buddy heater, I have a Blue Rhino 15-pound propane tank with a hose. The hose is attached to a filter, and the filter is attached to the heater. As you can see here, I have the fuel canister on the outside of my tent, and that's the best place for it. If you're using a fuel canister over 1 pound, it's a good idea to have it on the outside of your tent, just in case there's a leak. That way, if there is a leak, your tent is not going to explode. With that being said though, on occasion, rare occasion, I have taken the fuel canister inside of my shelters before. In situations where it simply would not work with them being on the outside, I have done it. For an example, one time, I want to say that I took one of these inside of my cabin, but the thing is, I made sure it wasn't leaking before I fired it up, before I opened up the valves and all that stuff. As I like to say, do your best, forget the rest. That's how it goes. So far, the forecast has been accurate. We've had snow showers off and on, basically all morning, but right now there's a lull. Later on this afternoon, it's supposed to pick up with some strong bands of snow. Supposedly, they could be rather intense. It looks like we have a snow squall coming in. We got all of this set up in the nick of time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is snowing. It's just a little, but it counts. This is not the first snowfall for the mountains here so far this fall, this winter, but this will be the first measurable snow at this elevation. I want to say some of the mountaintops, they've had a couple of inches here and there, but for us, this is the first real bout of winter. Not too bad. It's even before Thanksgiving, but yet winter is coming on. And so are these winds. They're quite strong already. Luckily, we have no reason to be out in them. We have the tent set up, everything's been set up. As you all noticed, I turned the gas on at the canister. Before I fire up the buddy heater, I want to wait and see if I could smell the propane. With propane, they add an odor to it so you can tell if there's a leak. So I want to make sure there's no leaks before I fire this up. This is nice, everyone. Inside of the tent, out of the wind, the heat is on, there's no leaks, the heat's not going to bother the tent at all. This, everyone, is a nice setup. This, everyone, is some mighty fine coffee. Fantastic. I'll tell you what, let's take a second here and let's go over the forecast in more detail. According to the National Weather Service, today, a chance of snow showers, mainly after 1 p.m. Currently, it's about 3:30. Sunny, high near 24. Northwest winds 20 miles an hour, gusts up to 32. Later on tonight, Snow showers likely, mainly before 2 a.m. Mostly cloudy, with the low around 14 degrees. The wind chill value as low as 0. Winds 21 miles an hour, gusts up to 40. Chance of snow 80%. And I'm not going to go over the accumulations. It is what it is, folks. We'll just have to wait and see. Speaking of snow, it's coming down right now rather good. I can tell already the temp is dropping. Moisture is beginning to freeze on my mustache and beard. Also, it looks like the next wave of snow is about to come in. You can actually see it coming in on this adjacent mountain. Tonight, this area will experience its first hard freeze. I have to admit, it is nice inside of this tent. We have the heat going, plenty of ventilation. Talking about ventilation, think of this tent as a submarine. A submarine with screen doors. Hopefully you understand the reference there. In other words, there's tons of ventilation with this tent. We don't have to worry about anything as far as running a heater inside of this goes. Ventilation and CO, it concerns people a lot, and that's understandable. But at the same time, oftentimes people overthink it. I have covered these topics so many times, over and over. Seems like in the last month or so, but definitely over the years. If you have a question, email me, but I can't keep doing it. It's like beating a dead horse. That horse is dead, everybody. There's nothing else to say about it. Anyways, one question that I don't believe I've answered in a video is why I use matches in the wintertime when it comes to my stoves. That's because of the temperature. When it comes to a small device like a lighter, oftentimes when they get cold, they do not work very well. Because of that, lighting up your stove is so much easier with a pack of matches than it is fiddling with a lighter. You don't have to warm it up or anything like that. You just grab these matches and you're good. That is why I always make sure to have a pack of matches with me inside of my cook kit. As you all can see, the sun is going down. There's a little bit of snow flying through the air, but not much at the moment. I just got a text message from Susie, and she said that the ground is white at home and it's pouring the snow. It was white when I left. Definitely more snow at home. If only I had a good place to camp at home. You know, I don't think you all want to see me camp in my driveway. Maybe you do. I don't know. Let me know. Here in a little bit, it'll start snowing. I can see the clouds coming this direction. Without a doubt, the temp right now is in the low 20s, maybe the upper teens. You know, folks, this is the first taste of winter that we've had. We've had some dips down into the 20s, but nothing like this. Dinner tonight is going to be simple. At the same time, it's going to be delicious and also very warm. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. For dinner tonight, my friends, I've come up with a combination that I don't think anybody has ever tried before. Soup in a sandwich. So what I have is cheddar broccoli soup along with a turkey and cheese sandwich. Melted to perfection. Oh yeah. Let's give the soup a shot. It looks like it's really hot. Dear Lord, please do not let this burn my mouth. Amen. Now let's give the sandwich a shot. We'll dip it in some of this soup here. Oh yeah. When it comes to soup, cheddar and broccoli is probably my favorite. Super simple, super good, and at the same time, very warm. You know, the soup is hot, the sandwich is hot. It's cold outside, warm in here, and this food is definitely helping. This morning, everyone, I woke up and I had a handful of messages and emails about a story that's breaking right now. It is about this guy. I want to say this took place in California. I do not know all of the details, just a little bit. And I have to say, the story sounds suspicious. I'm going to say that right now, but the caveat is that I don't know all of the details. The gist of the story is that a hunter goes out for a hunting trip, an overnight hunting trip. He's going to be gone for one night only. He gets lost, and he is out in the wilderness for 20 days. The story that I've been told so far, and again, this does not really add up, and it didn't add up to the viewers who sent in this story, because they're the ones who were like pointing out like something sounds off here. So he goes out for an overnight trip. The thing is, he was lost for 20 days, but he was with his vehicle for most of the time. The next oddity is that he brought with him, get this, 2 weeks worth of food and water just in case. He was out for an overnight trip and he brought 2 weeks of food and water. The amount of water alone is incredible. I mean, absolutely insane, to be honest. Those winds are really kicking up. A little bit of snow's being blown in too. Going back to the topic of the water, let's do the math on that. The human body needs 1 liter of water per day to survive. So let's say that he had 2 weeks of water. That's 14 liters of water. That's a lot of water. Plus 2 weeks worth of food. I don't know, just sounds strange. None of the story added up. For an example, the guy took the wrong road and detoured, and it got to the point where he realized that he would have to have a 4-wheel drive to go any further. That's when his vehicle broke down. From there, he hung out with his vehicle for 14 days at least. And then I'm not sure what happened after that point. But the question is, why didn't he just backtrack down the road that he came on? I certainly need to look more into this story, but something about it, based on what you all have shared, does not sound right. My question is, how much weight did he lose? I ask that question because it's an important one. Because when people are lost, right? They lack calories and all that stuff. They will lose an incredible amount of weight. Many years ago, there was a serial killer who escaped. He was on the run for 6 days. He lost 25 pounds. And all he was doing was hiding out in the woods. So again, my question is, how much weight did this individual lose? It's all about those calories being burned. Even if he was sitting around doing nothing, the amount of weight that he should have lost would be pretty great, especially over the course of 20 days. I'm going to look into this a little bit more, and I might do a news episode on it. Very interesting. As it stands right now, it's about 9:30. Snowing outside nicely, but not really accumulating. It's so windy. Supposedly later on tonight, it's really going to come down. Originally, I was going to go out for a backpacking trip. As soon as they started calling for it, I started watching the forecast, and every single day I've seen those wind speeds picking up higher and higher. If it's 45 miles an hour here, gusts, imagine what it would be like at 6,000 feet. So I decided I'll just go out for an overland trip, stay a little bit lower. I wanted to make sure that I didn't go too high because like tomorrow morning, everything is going to be iced up. Today, mid-20s, but the sun was out, melting that snow, melting the ice. Everything that was wet today is now slick. Thankfully, it has snow on it, but I definitely didn't want to go too high and have to come down some super slick mountain. I want to say we are at roughly 3,500 feet in elevation. It's 11 o'clock, it's pouring the snow outside, and it's chilly. Luckily, I have my heater going. It's nice and warm inside of this tent. This has been an awesome trip. The first snow of the season. Windy, cold, snowy, perfection. In the morning, we'll see how much we ended up with, and I'll tell you all what the forecast was for. For now, though, it is time for me to get some shut-eye. I've been sitting around that heater for so long, I'm just about worn out. I'm tired from sitting still. Anyways, I will see you all in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. 5:45 came quick. But with that being said, I'm ready to get up. I slept good, but, well, I'll tell you what. I will tell you about this mattress later on. How about that? First things first, let's get up, let's make some coffee. Oh yeah. Everybody, this is nice. Some good coffee in a warm tent. As far as the temp goes, when running the buddy heater on high, it could get into the 60s. On low, it definitely chills down. This tent is awesome, but it's not the warmest 4th season tent I've ever used. There's a lot of gaps here, and it lets in a lot of wind, a lot of air, especially here at the front. For some reason, Nature Hike did not put a snow skirt on the front door, so as the wind shifted, it's now coming towards the front door, it's making its way underneath it, and that is dropping the temperature inside of this tent substantially. Luckily, the Mr. Buddy heater, it is powerful enough to overcome that. As for last night, I slept really good, but the Teton Sports Pad is not very comfortable, and at the same time, it's not very warm. It has a very low R value, in other words. I basically immediately felt the cold of the ground coming through, and I felt that all night long. Luckily, my sleep system kept me warm enough where I didn't have to go get another pad. But it's something that was like on my mind. Every so often I'd kind of wake up and I realize, yeah, I'm cold. My lower half is cold. My bottom half, the half that was going towards the ground, it's early, everybody. The saving grace again was the sleeping bag. That is from Kodiak Canvas. That is awesome. Super warm. I ended up taking off the quilt. I just didn't need it. As far as snowfall goes, the forecast was for 4 inches at this elevation. We received less than 1. That's why I didn't want to even talk numbers yesterday, because the forecasts are always wrong. They also forecasted a foot of snow for the higher peaks. Whether or not they got that much snow, I have no idea. I'm sure someone did. Nonetheless, this has been a great trip. It's been a lot of fun. Temperature-wise, it's 16 degrees and crazy windy. I'll be honest, I really don't want to go back out there, but I will. When it's time to break all of this down, I'm just going to do it in a hurry. Roll everything up, just take it to the 4Runner. It's the wind. That's the reason why I decided not to do a backpacking trip. Take the temperature, factor in the wind, and we have a wind chill of -1 degrees right now. It's brutal out there. Folks, the sun is coming up. It's light outside. That means it is time to break all of this down. It's time to go home. My friends, thank you all so much for joining me for this trip. I really do appreciate it. Everyone, it is time for me to go home. If you enjoyed this trip, hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Until next time, everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.